I have a very special guest on this podcast, Shepard, who's been doing music for over 7 years, and he just had his first big breakout song on Spotify. Hit up the Beast Modes playlist, and from there just started going mainly everywhere. But here's the thing: he made a song with very big intent. He planned. Part of his vision was to actually get on Beast Mode, and he's going to share the story of what he did and how he actually accomplished this song Gametime to actually get over. Now, at the time of the interview, it was almost at 2.5 million. Now it's it's already over 2.75 million streams. It made the viral chart for about 10 countries, and let's just hear his story and his insight on what he did. And I want you guys just to get those tidbits that are very important. Watch the whole interview. You're gonna really get a lot of knowledge from this. And if you have any questions, ask them down in the comments. Or if you even tuned in our podcast, just thank you so much, guys. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like this video, comment, and let's just keep this going. This is the heart of Prudent.
You've been doing music for 7 years, but you talked about like last year. It seems like you had the multiple momentum. You dropped the album. But you dropped it without like you actually you put a lot of effort behind it, and I love the artwork, because for me, like, the artwork is one of the most important things sometimes, because that's what they get as a preview. It not in the streaming world. The streaming world, that's a bit different, but everywhere else, if your fans, people that your fans might be talking about, or like people are screenshotting and sharing it, they're sharing your music with an artwork cover on there, and that artwork just looks amazing. Like you did a great job. I really admire that, because sometimes just people, they don't put much effort into their artwork, and the artwork is a representation of the music. And if you value, and a lot of artists, they put all the effort in the music, but then they have they just go on an app and create a quick little cover, and they forget that that's like the second piece of art.
Yeah, man. I think artwork has always been a huge thing for me. Like I definitely, so since I do graphic design and stuff like that, getting out of high school, I was like, man, visually I want to be engaged as much as like the audio. You know what I'm saying? So I want them to see something and be able to picture it while they listen to it. So appreciate that, bro.
Yeah. So you're pushing, you're doing all this. Did you ever feel at any point that you kind of like hit a wall before the song came out, Gametime?
Yeah, it's crazy, because I remember after I released the project, I was pushing it. We have like an 8-city tour. Like, I'm sending to radio stations, doing interviews and performing all over the nation. And then I was just like, why does it feel like it's not hitting? I feel like I was hitting a wall. I felt like my audience was limited. I felt like I wasn't able to just like reach to the next step, the next level. I actually messaged Belief, shout out to him. I was just like, bro, like, what do I do? Because it was just starting Belief in Fatherhood. Because it was a little minute ago. That's when the album dropped. He's starting up Belief in Fatherhood, and I see him kind of like taking initiative in different ways, and really planning everything out like to the T. Because he was quiet for a while, so now I was just like, I might have to do the same. So when I was making Gametime, I sat on Gametime for like 7 months without releasing it, just to get all the visuals right, all the connections right, like within the industry, just to make sure when I started dropping everything, like, it's very concise. So yeah, man, it definitely hit a wall.
And so you released your album. When you say like, and I just wanted to make the audience probably understand this better. When you hit a wall, it's kind of like, is it more like your album comes out, you put all this time and effort making it, and you thought maybe it was going to maybe open more doors, but then it's like, did it bring any growth? Or is it just to hit a wall where it's like, okay, I put all this effort. If I'm going to do all this again, is it really going to seem like I'm going to break through any wall? Like, is that the wall you hit?
The wall that I felt like I hit, I think it was a mixture of my expectations of things taking off faster than I thought they would. So like as an artist, like, you put so much work into it. You want people to feel what you feel, and that's the crazy thing about being an artist. Like, some people are not going to feel exactly what you felt when they listen to it, or they don't see what you see. To me, it was much deeper. It did give growth. You know what I'm saying? Started relationships. Um, like started getting booked for like different shows and different conferences and stuff like that, like Flavor Fest and Legacy and all those different things. It helps kind of like show a part of my life, which was cool, like discipleship and mentoring teens. Um, but yeah, I feel like I hit a wall because it didn't really do exactly what I thought it would. In my mind, you always hope for like do something great, but I think that kind of like shifted my view from like it's not as big, but it's doing more impact. And I feel like I just kept that mindset. Like that's the most important thing about it, even if it's not as big. And then, fortunately, my next record was pretty big.
So before we go into detail with that record, um, and this is just to get people maybe, and I'm actually curious, like once Game Time came out, are you getting more streams on your other songs?
Yeah, most definitely. It's just done a rippling effect, like on all my stuff, like from like followers on social media to plays on different songs to DMs from dudes and people from different countries, like, hey, yo, Shep, we listen to you. It's Nigeria or Italy or something like that. I think it's pretty cool because it kind of opened up a door for like international relationships or friendships or fans. Not sure how people say it, but yeah.
Well, and the thing is, it's not because you have one song now that you made it, but in some way now it's like your hard work paid off. And now I want to kind of go into like what was the hard work for this specific single, because what I loved as soon as the song came out is I knew right away. I was like, oh wow, he just dropped a song that was made with very big intent, like could be used in a movie, could be used, with on a ESPN. It could be like a song with intent. And a lot of times I feel like, especially newer artists, and I know you've been doing this for 7 years, but still, like, you have one album out in your belt. How many albums do you have in your belt? Three?
I have an album, an EP, and a mixtape. So 3 projects.
Okay, 3 projects. A lot of artists, I feel like, they don't make music with intent till maybe further in their career.
Yeah.
It's once they maybe are on a record label, and then the record label's like, hey, you should do this. Oh, wow, okay, yeah. But I feel like when artists are growing, and they're trying to get more followers and all of it, I don't think they make music with. I mean, yes, there's music with purpose. They Christian hip hop. It's basically all it is music with purpose. I mean, it really is. But there's not music being created with intent of like, hey, getting licensing, because they think. And the thing is, I think a lot of artists limit themselves where it's like, well, I need to get through certain things. I need to have this. And I'm saying that because as soon as the song dropped, it's not like it got licensed. It's just I saw that. I was like, oh, I noticed right away. I'm like, you created the music with intent. As soon as you dropped that song, it was very obvious. But I wanted to know what made you all of a sudden like, okay, I need to make a song that actually might get picked up. Like, was that the purpose from the beginning?
Yeah, that was definitely the purpose from the beginning. Like, just like as me being a former athlete, I even like planned a whole FCA tour with that. So some of the tour that we did is Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Like that whole market, I was like, I'm going to attack this. Like from the video that we did when I dropped the song, it's not even a music video, it's just a trailer teaser video. And I did 3 different ones. Like I was like, when I sat back on the record for those 7 months, when after I made it, I was like, I want people to feel this. I know this is the market, like ESPN, 2K. I want to be able to hit all this stuff. I want to be able to tour with this record as well for like athletes in different colleges and high schools. All those things were kind of planned out, mapped out, and just trying to leverage my relationships, you know what I'm saying, and creating those new ones, and ultimately like praying to God to open those relationships that I didn't have access to before, and seeing Him do that. But it was definitely the motivation behind it. Excuse me, man. I just ate some Wendy's and it's like attacking me right now. But
So you keep mentioning relationships. Would you attribute the success because of the relationships, or what do you think would have still happened without the relationships?
in reality, I think everything we do is helped out by relationships. Like from the relationship I had with my engineer who helped like tirelessly. Shout out to Isaac. all those hours behind like making the record and be like, okay, we'll do another take. I rewrote the song 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I wanted to be exactly what I had in mind. I wanted to have that gut feeling when I listened to it. So I rewrote the song 3, 4 times. Isaac is one of the relationships. You know what I'm saying? One of my videographers is a relationship. All the branding is a relationship. So like for me to say like it was just me. Like I just did it to myself. That's a lie. The relationships that even got me to play play football in high school. You know what I'm saying? To even get that feeling, is all attributed to relationships and like the relationships I have with people who listen to my music, pushing it to different people, sharing it, liking it, commenting, all that stuff is attributed to them. Uh, I got the idea. It's an original idea for myself, but I wouldn't be able to have that idea come to life if it wasn't for those relationships.
Okay. So I'm glad I asked that question because a lot of times when people say relationships, they're talking about industry and relationships. And what I mean by that is like, oh, I had the relationship with like the curator. Like, did that at all take place, or how did it actually come about? Can you give like the story behind like you dropped the song, and I think you told me you got 100,000 plays the first week, which congratulations, that's big. But like, can you tell like the timeline of what happened before you even hit the 1 million mark, and then the 2 million mark, and now it's going to be 2.5 million soon?
Yeah, so we were contacting. So we hit the 100,000. Like it got picked up on New Music Friday and New Music Christian Friday, and I was just like, oh, that's cool because I've never been on those playlists. So I'm like, all right, let's go crazy. Let's see what happens. And I saw the numbers like on the first day. Like I woke up that morning. I'm over here like excited about the release. I'm about to put promo up. I'm just seeing my Spotify like ding a lot. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. It's going from like 10 to 12 to 15,000. I was like, that's okay. This is cool. I'm like, they like the song. But just seeing like, I think that first week or whatever that we hit the 100,000, or I forgot how long it took. It was just like, man, this is crazy. So then I started hitting up AJ from Spotify. He's the dude who curates Beast Mode. And I was just like, with the intention of being on Beast Mode, that's how I made the record. And I was just like, man, just hitting him up, and DMing him, and he's cool. He's great people. He's definitely for the culture and stuff like that. So just hoping that it hit. And through some emails and the team that I have like reaching out, and he liked the record and he put it up. And then I wasn't sure how long the record was going to be on Beast Mode, because if you look at Beast Mode playlist, there's records that go on there for like sometimes less than a week. You know what I'm saying? Just because they're not performing. And now it's been already a couple of weeks like straight. You know what I'm saying? With the record on there because it's been performing numbers, and people like the song. So that just encapsulating the vision and just having it in my mind, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what I'm trying to do. These are the people I'm going to reach out to. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I haven't always gotten a yes, but by God's grace, I did get a yes to this, and it's been popping off, bro.
So did you just really say you made this song more than just intent? You made the song to actually get on Beast Mode?
Yeah, most definitely. Like literally, I was like, this.
The goal was to get on Beast Mode,
bro. So AJ doesn't know this, but I've been following AJ on Instagram for like a year before I dropped Gametime, bro. And I saw that he does a Beast Mode playlist, and I was just like, bro, like I have to get on this playlist. Like it's one of the biggest like playlists that are out, and I saw Christian hip hop songs on there. So I was just like, bro, like if I want to be able to like have my foot in the industry, if I want to be able to like make a wave, you know what I'm saying, especially as an indie artist, you know what I'm saying, like not having a label, not having those interconnections, I'm gonna have to get on this playlist. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like if I really wanted to get the numbers that it needs to get. And it happened, bro. So crazy.
I mean, I love that because it's like I said, I could tell right away the song was intended for something. It wasn't just a song like, oh, this is what I want to do. Like, no, it was created. And tell me a little bit more like, you know, how even the beat came about, like the person that produced it.
Yeah.
Like how did it come about creating the song?
Yeah, so Kartik produced the record. I was hitting him up. I'm like, hey, bro, do you know how to do songs like a marching band or whatever? He's like, what? So I just started sending him samples. Like, so I played football in high school, so that innate feeling that I got on the field and just hearing the like the trumpets and stuff like that. That's the main part of the song, the trumpet that everybody like kind of listens to. it's like I want trumpets, I want a snare in that mug, I want 808s just slamming. I want to feel it in my chest when it's like playing at the speakers. Like I need this, and everybody who knows Kardec knows that's like his niche. He knows how to do that, make hits like that. So I remember like when I went to a poetry show for one of the students that I mentor, and then they had like a band come in for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I just hit record, and I was literally just like recording like the snare and the trumpets and stuff that they were doing. Sent it to Kardec, and I was like, "Hey, big bro, can you do something like this?" I think like the same day or the next day, he sends me a record. And I was like, "This is it. This is exactly what I had in my mind." And then we did some changes, like 2 or 3 drafts, but he had the idea pretty clear. We were able to get on the same wavelength to make it happen.
As far as like, when your song first dropped, you said it was on like the new Music Friday, New Christian Music Friday playlist. Did you have to do anything to do those, or just release it and it was just a nice surprise to see them featured, or did you actually make any effort to get them on there?
So you submit to playlists through Spotify. Excuse me. So you submit to playlists through Spotify and stuff like that. So we just submitted a record. You know what I'm saying? I did not know it was gonna get picked up. You know what I'm saying? When it got picked up, it's like, oh, this is nice. And then from there, it's just like a rolling effects. Like success begets success. I think someone said that. Someone said it to me today. I'm just like, okay, that makes sense because like once someone sees something's popping, then they usually try to help out or they do something like, okay, this is popping, we're gonna use this, and then from there it's popping, we're gonna use this, and then just seeing the numbers like roll upon each other, like I think that, and that's how the Spotify playlist algorithm works. So like songs get flagged. You know what I'm saying? If it's doing good, it gets flagged, and like through an algorithm put on other playlists. You know what I'm saying? And it's some Spotify like editorial playlists, like they get to see that and like, okay, this is popping. Let me listen to it. They listen to it. They like it. They put it on their playlist, and just it's a rollover effect.
There's actually there's a lot more in depth into the Spotify algorithm that people don't even realize. Like even like the type of people that listen to the song. Like there's all these different things, and I've like there's tricks I've found out there that are pretty funny. Where some people like they've noticed like if you will literally push out an ad, and you're making everybody go on Spotify, but you're doing it to people that have Spotify, and I'm saying like an ad like on Instagram or something, where you have the song, you push it on, and you pick that audience that you want to be picked up on all playlisted, because what will happen is Spotify will see there's a bump increase from that type of audience, and they're gonna be like, oh, this audience really likes it. We need it, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's gonna get playlisted and get way more plays. Yes, which is an interesting trick. But I'm asking these questions because a lot of people are watching probably have absolutely no idea how it works, and a lot of what I want people to realize is you don't get millions of plays just by randomly just releasing a song and then just sitting on your chair and just hoping it kicks. Like you put effort into it. That was your goal. You see, if we don't actually have big goals, if we don't actually even like have goals, then don't expect anything. You know, I love that she had a very precise goal, was to actually get on the Beast Mode playlist, and from that on, it was like a big snowball effect where it's just growing and growing, and who knows where the song will go from today. You know.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like, and it's like a lot of things are pending right now. Like, one thing I could actually share is that we actually got a deal with Fox Sports. So, like, that is really dope. I think like I think it's gonna be a commercial. I forgot what the email said, but it's gonna be on NASCAR. So that's pretty cool. So like they get to use it for like a whole year. Like a really cool opportunity. It's kind of like
you'll have to do a NASCAR remix with like the sounds of the car. You could actually do a remix EP that is for each sport.
Facts.
But like when I made remixes, it doesn't have to be like the whole beat remix, but let Kardec do it. He'll probably figure it out.
Yeah, he's better at that part.
Dude, I mean, this has been an amazing conversation. Like, or not just a conversation, what you've been sharing. Like, thank you for sharing all this stuff. It's been really good. And I mean, and just curious too. Like, so you submitted the songs to these playlists, and did you do it did you send them by email, or did you do it through the Spotify system?
Yeah, through the Spotify system I think is the simplest way to do it. Some editors have their email in their bio, stuff like that, so you could still like submit other ways, and you could even go online, you know what I'm saying, and look up Spotify playlists that you could submit to. and pitching and stuff like that, and that usually helps out a lot. So
Okay, so have you ever paid for a Spotify placement?
no.
Okay, I was just curious because I cannot stand when these people message. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you on these playlists," and I see the amount of followers these playlists have, and I'm like, "It costs how much?" It's they're really just praying. Well, not praying. You know what I'm like?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically praying over the week, and those people that think like, "Oh my gosh, 100,000 followers, I'm going to make it big," and it's like they pay like hundreds of dollars, and it's sad. It's sad to me. But I was just curious because I'm sure there's a playlist out there that if you do it, it might help. But I'm like a lot of this stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean, how many emails? How many people have you emailed before the song hit?
Probably, I would say somewhere from like, you mean like Spotify people specifically, or
No,
because
just creators in general.
I probably emailed like anywhere like even according to the song, like 40 to 120 people like alone. You know what I'm saying? There's
And
like specific things. Oh,
was it a copy paste email or was it tailored for each person?
depends on who it was. If it was a radio person, like it was tailored for them. I know some radio stations are like really specific on that, and I think just that dose of professionalism. I guess you could copy paste it, but you got to change some things about it. It's not gonna work for everybody, but that I know it takes more time. You know what I'm saying? It takes time, but all this stuff takes time. Like I sat on the record for 8 months, so it's like it takes time.
But I'll tell you the one experience with Rapzilla is if it was copy paste, it just doesn't feel there's no connection. It's like, oh, okay, I see you put a lot of effort. It's almost kind of like I'm just gonna hope someone's gonna pick it up. Copy paste, 500 emails, okay, and then it's like, sometimes they go through, but it's so much better to be personable.
Yeah.
And that's why I was just curious. And so when you said 40 to 100, what does that include? You have the curators. You just said the radio. Does it have anyone else?
Uh, so like it wasn't only emails, like persons of influence. Like I got a friend who's a comedian. His name's like Action Jackson. He's like viral on Instagram. So like it's like marketing. Like it has to be so much more than just like those people. So you got the radio people. I'm thinking like people with interest, like people who are like even like in a demographic that you're trying to tackle. So like right now, I'm working on getting like some big athlete. You know what I'm saying? To like either sponsor the song, walk out to the song, something like that to like expand my market. Like you have to be like really creative and really intentional. Like you have to like have a vision, like you said earlier, like write down your goals. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have a goal, you're gonna be like aimlessly hoping. You know what I'm saying? And that it just doesn't make sense. I think it's like a lack of faith when you don't work hard. People feel like having faith means like not doing anything and just sitting back. And God sometimes works in that, but
Works to death.
exactly, bro. So like it's like you got to be out there like putting yourself in a position, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, so like I said, I did an FCA tour. I performed in the University of Louisville, like all these different things through FCA. So the songs of sports anthem, I hit up all those colleges. I was like, man, like I'm a Christian athlete, you know what I'm saying? A former Christian athlete who mentors teens, and here I have this record. It's doing numbers. I would love to perform at your school. I would love to perform at this stadium. You know what I'm saying? And different opportunities arose from that. So yeah, for the foreseeable future, this is what I have in my agenda. Right? I have the Gametime remix. It's a Latin remix with cardiac drums, which is ridiculous. Like I kid you not. Like it's crazy, and it has like Nico Emmy. He's a Christian artist in Dominican Republic, and we have which he's going crazy too. I think he just broke 1 million on his last record too. And then Tommy Royale, that's Cardiac's artist. Both really dope dudes are gonna be on the record. It's gonna be a Gametime remix. And then, to be honest, like right now, I'm just hashing out. I have probably so I'm sitting on like 40 to 50 different singles right now, right? And then like out of those 40 to 50, I have to hash out which one I think is the best. Because following, it's gonna hit 2.5 soon, 2.5 million streams. It's kind of hard to do when you don't really have a vision for the next record. So yeah, I'm sitting on a couple stuff, and the music video too. I haven't dropped that yet either, just because I want to milk it out as much as I can to the point where I feel like, okay, I could drop this now. So
And are you gonna actually just go the single route now that or are you actually gonna or are you going to actually focus on a record album?
So for the time being, I'm gonna go singles. I think for where the industry's at right now, I think the best way, I think in my position where I'm at, I can speak for myself. I think the best way to continue to engage my audience is through singles, and calculated singles. You know what I'm saying? And the way I market it. And until I feel like I have enough of a solid fan base where I could like effortlessly drop an album, or maybe I could do an EP, but effortlessly drop an album while knowing that it's going to do as much numbers as my singles do, then I'll do that. That's where the difficulty comes in, because it's so much easier for a consumer to listen to a single, and there's a higher possibility for it to be on a playlist than having a whole album on a playlist, because you've never seen a whole album on a playlist. So like, it's cool that you have some songs doing numbers, but what about the other ones, right? So it's kind of like all those things are investments. So just seeing where I'm at in my like music career, I think I'm gonna continue pursuing singles.
And this is just to go back, because you did say you held on a song for 7 months.
Yeah.
Was it more like you knew the song was going to do something that you needed to plan and get all your things ready, or was it just more like you're not like why 7 months? Like, what were you doing in those 7 months?
So in those 7 months, I was kind of like mapping out everything that I was planning to do, so I could be a couple steps ahead after I dropped the record. I think a mistake that we often make is like, I drop the record and then I'm gonna start working on marketing and promoting. It's like, no, you gotta work on that stuff way before you even think about dropping it. So like I said, if you look at the original promos, it's like me with a whole football team from my high school, and like they're like chanting around me, doing backflips, like doing Oklahoma drills against each other and stuff. All that was recorded, planned out, like scripted out, like months before I dropped the record. All the marketing, like the cover, the motion graphics, just the people who are gonna post my stuff, the people with influence, the comedians, the blogs, all those people, like all that was like all predated. Like all that stuff was like already cooking before I even thought about pulling the trigger. Um, yeah, and then even the promos I got going now, like I literally work on promos before I hit my goal. So like before we hit the 1 million goal, I was like, okay, we're hitting 60, 70,000 a day. This is crazy. I got to go ahead and start doing something about it before like I hit my goal. And I can't like celebrate these monumental moments for the people who follow me. Because like when you celebrate those moments, like the people who follow you kind of feel like they're involved in this, because they are. Like, it's like, man, we did it type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew Shepard when he was rapping without a beard on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was 13 years old. And I was like, man, it's kind of cool, because, like, celebrating those monumental moments, I don't think of it like, oh, I'm bragging. I hit 1 million. I just broke 2 million. You know what I'm saying? I think of it like being able to celebrate, like, we did this. We made it happen. So, yeah, we sat down those 7 months, 8 months, just waiting, and I decided to release it like Super Bowl. I think a couple of days before the Super Bowl weekend. So just like all those things were very, very intentional. Like from the day I released it to all that stuff. Yep.
So releasing music with intent is never dropping it as soon as it's done, like a lot of artists do.
Unless you're like freaking like J. Cole, who could do that like unannounced, I do not suggest anyone to do that. Like, you got to think about your stuff. Like, I think no one teaches like the business aspect or the marketing aspect to music, because like as an artist, like there's so much facets to like, we do more than just write music. And
And that's why I'm doing this podcast too.
Yeah.
For exactly that reason.
Yeah.
For the Christian hip hop community to actually know what people are actually doing. And sometimes they don't even take notice. They don't think like, oh, maybe I should hit up this person. But the thing is, there's so much going on, and that's why I'm literally creating this. That's why literally this is on the podcast, this is on the YouTube, this is like on social media. It's for this very intent. And I'm glad you're on this to tell. And I'm sorry I cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh, you good, bro. I was just saying, like, man, like, there's so much facets to it, and I think it's like learning each level to what it means to be an artist. Like, Beyonce, I think, didn't she like practice for like a year or something like that before she had like that exclusive performance at this big stadium? I think for a college. I forgot what college it was, but like she performed the same set for a year. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, if she's willing to do that and she's already like a solidified legend in the industry. It's like, what are we doing when no one really knows us? When our demographics, our circle is so much smaller. So yeah, they're just taking those things into consideration.
Okay. Well, hey, oh, and one other thing. So you said you had 7 months of preparation.
Hmm.
You were not just holding on to it, you were actually preparing and being very, preparing with your strategy. And I'm glad you're saying all this because, I'm asking this, I'm just curious because I don't know if you were just holding on to it, being like, I'm just holding on to it, but you did it with very intent. Like the whole thing was intentional, which I love. But you said you're also planning what was going to come out after. Did that plan kind of change because the song actually popped off a lot more than you expected, or were you preparing like if it gets on beast mode, I'm gonna have to follow up with some good songs? Were you already doing that?
Yeah, so like it's crazy. I don't have the notepad with me, but I literally, it's funny as heck. Like you all bring this up. Like I literally wrote out the goals I had for this record, and one of them was to be on beast mode, right? So like having the mentality like if we get there, this is what I'm doing. If I don't get there, what am I gonna do to get to that point? Like it's like literally having the mentality like if I don't make it with this record, what record do I have to create to be able to be put in that spot?
Mm.
And like if you look at the promotion, like I have like the visuals and everything, like to the T. It's like so, like going to like so, we talked about like getting into video games and stuff like that for the record. Like if you look at it, it says like press any button to start here. It's like the promo of the song when we hit 1 million, and I'm shouting out beast mode, Spotify playlist. You see the Spotify logo on the left hand side. Like all these tedious little things are things that have to be put into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the little things do count. Like you're saying before, it's like I'm not just gonna drop a record and just hope that the whole world hears it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not how this works. And me coming to grips to that and me figuring that out, having to figure it out the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Like me dropping music for so long and feeling like I'm hitting the wall. And sometimes it's gonna happen maybe later in a career, but it's like really putting yourself in the best position to be able to walk into those opportunities. Like people just I just don't I want to break the misconception that those opportunities are like open doors. Unless you're like Lil Nas X, for example, right? Like that Old Town Road remix and stuff like that. Super dope. You know what I'm saying? But like it started off like not that big. And then like you think about it, it's actually genius. Like who's done something like that? Right? And everybody's like, nah, I don't know. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? So like him just being a young dude in the industry, I think he's signed to like Universal Records or something like that. The industry loves that. You know what I'm saying? And they love that someone comes up with something. They come in and seeing like we can make this marketable. That's what music has to be. It has to be marketable. It's like, you know what I'm saying? And like people are like, oh, that it doesn't take away from the genuine result of the music. It actually amplifies it. People feel like, oh, if I make music more marketable, then it's gonna take away from how real it is or intentions. Like, no, when you market it well, it's actually amplifying what you're actually trying to say or what you're trying to do. At least that's how I view it. So
I mean, and also this is just to give background for people listening. Like, okay, you got 2.5 million plays, but like when I looked at your Spotify monthly listeners, you're at like 640,000.
yeah, monthly
Like
listen.
that's awesome. That's amazing, and it brought growth everywhere else. You actually have people are paying attention because the thing is, when you have that many monthly listeners, there's a certain percentage ratio that's going to all of a sudden be like, I really like this song. Who is this? Do they have other music? What's their Instagram? Where's this?
Yeah.
And like you have to think about everything. Like, can people find you if they Google you? Can this happen? Can this happen? Like, you have to be very intentional with every little facet. And I even love the fact that you even came out with your single with promo videos, because I kid you not, if you didn't do the promo videos, I would have never seen the song. It would have just seen it and I would have passed it. Like I mean it, man, because I don't pay attention to everything dropping these past years, but it's been nice because taking a break from music has allowed me to actually notice the people that are making noise.
Yeah.
Not because when I was working at Rapzilla, you're literally aware of everything happening all the time.
Yeah.
You are. But when I took a break, that's where I was able to figure out people that were actually putting in hard work, because I'm not doing this every day. I'm not purposely trying to find music. I'm actually just a normal consumer, And it was nice to actually experience life as a normal consumer, because since I was 15 years old, my day to day, 10 hours a day, was basically Christian hip hop out all the time, knowing everything. So it was kind of nice to take a break after 15 years. It was like a long needed vacation. And it's funny because I never thought I would come back, but here I am. But all this to say that I noticed the song because of the video. And the video was catchy, and all of a sudden I'm like, huh? And then all of a sudden I'm starting to see more promo here and there. It wasn't just I saw it one time, and I think that's what people forget is you need to be repetitive in your marketing efforts. You don't just post something one time and then people are like, oh, I see it. Like, no, we are fighting for people's attention is really what it is. And for fighting for people's attention, you have to have things that grab their attention. And way to go. Thank you so much. Do you have anything else you want to share, or anything you can think of that can benefit people?
Yeah, like just to add on, just like some of the things I was doing to push the record, and I'm not sure if everybody sees it the same way, but I was literally performing the record before it came out. Give me 1 second. So I was literally performing the record multiple times on different occasions, at different shows and stuff before it even released. And then people would come up to me like, where can I find it? I don't see Gametime. And I think that's a perfect time to get their email. I think it's perfect time to get them to follow you on socials. Like, it's just finding different ways, you know what I'm saying, to like, this person's a fan, now I can't let them go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it's simple ways that you don't really think about how those things could actually, because look at the people who are going to be sharing a song. Those people are going to be buying my merch. You know what I'm saying? Like, making them feel, each person feel like they're part of the journey as well. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just what's been helping me out. Another thing that's been helping me out, you already touched upon it, it's kind of like repackaging the same message over and over again. It's like they need to continue, because Instagram, you're fighting against, everybody else has a business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else has a ad, and everybody else has the same platform. So it's kind of like, what am I doing to repackage Gametime on multiple different occasions where it's going to catch somebody's attention? All right, they didn't see the first couple promos, but they saw it hit 1 million. Okay, they didn't see the 1 million mark, but they saw it hit 2 million. This must be something I should be looking at. And then they kind of like look at it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it did that, and it's kind of getting people's attention. So that's what we've been working with.
Dude, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for letting me be on this and talk about the little song I got going on.
I can't wait to see what you're coming up with next.